my mom heavily emphasized my sister and I's education. So we grew up very academic and philosophical, like very educated. But my mom got really sick, like became really sick when I started middle school. And for about 2 years, she was in and out of the hospital. And because she was a single mom, my sister and I were left kind of by ourselves in a home and kind of jumping from home to home, like just without stability. And you just begin to start wondering, like, what happens if my mom dies? Well, she actually did pass away between my sophomore and junior year of high school. So being left with a bunch of education, but no idea, like philosophy doesn't satisfy, knowledge doesn't satisfy, and I was left wondering, what happens when you die? What is the purpose of my life? Like, what is the point of living if nothing happens after I die? Like, the best thing that my mind could come up with was I would be some disembodied soul floating around in the universe. Like, and that didn't satisfy me. So I decided the night that my mom passed away that I would read every religious text I could get my hands on and find truth somewhere. Because there was a bunch of religious people, and they believed it, so something had to be true. So that night, the only book I had explored other things before my mom passed away, but that night, the only book I had access to was the King James Version of the Bible, because my grandparents are Lutheran by culture, they're from Germany. So I started reading like any normal book, cover to cover, Genesis, skipped over Numbers, like read everything, kind of stopped halfway through, and then jumped over and started reading all the Gospels. And at the time, after reading most of the Bible at that point over the course of a few months, I wanted to believe. Like, there was just something very attractive in the Bible to me. But not to be convinced by my emotions, because I have a science background. I needed solid evidence to verify what I was believing. And so one night when I was about to read the Bible, I was sitting on my bed, and I prayed my first prayer. I was like, God or Jesus or whoever you are, if you're real, you have to prove it to me. So I randomly opened the Bible to a random page, and it was Isaiah 53. And I don't know if anyone knows Isaiah 53. I can read a little bit. It says, let's see, Isaiah 53:2. For he grew up like a tender plant before him, and like a root out of dry ground. He has no attracting form nor majesty that we should look upon him, nor beautiful appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and forsaken of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and like one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised and